Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS. It's time for Owin's Field Report, sponsored by Les Schwab Tire Centers.
Now, I know I mentioned it earlier, but if you are into chasing albacore tuna off our coast, Oregon or Washington for that matter, it's really starting off strong. All the reports, and more than 3 or 4 in the last 2 or 3 days, including Ted, he's probably still got sea legs from chasing tuna yesterday. It's already pretty darn good. You're still going to have to cover a little bit of ground, but if you're into that fishery, if you have the right equipment, the right boat, and the right knowledge, it's going to start off a little bit earlier this year. And based on the reports from Feed offshore out of Garibaldi and out of out of Astoria, who knows? You might see them in closer this year. We'll find out. You got the Tuna Classic that's coming up this next month, so we'll have a little bit more of that kind of info as we go forward. But overall, though, if you're going to go fishing this week, most folks are just waiting for the 1st of August to happen to either hit the Columbia here close to home, or for, of course, thousands and thousands of folks are going to be down there in the Astoria area. The tide set for this opening week is pretty darn good. Everybody that I've talked to that's going to be fishing down there early, meaning that first week when it opens, they're all pretty darn excited about that tide set for the estuary. So maybe keep that in mind if you're going to be heading that way. Rivers, not much water. We're going to get to that in a second. But lake fishing has been holding out, but you're seeing a lot of lakes starting to really slow down with the temperature starting to go up. Although that's normal for this time of year. Fish counts, though, I don't think anything's changed tremendously since yesterday. Numbers for Chinook, nothing to be too excited about. I know for myself that if I do go out on the 1st on the Columbia, which is kind of the plan currently, there's not a lot of fish that are going over, but there's still fish, of course, in the system. If you're going to be targeting those, just pay attention to where you can and can't fish based on the date and the locations and the species. It's very confusing based on the dates, the limit of each species, if it's Chinook, silvers, or steelhead, and for that matter, jacks. Jacks are closed in a lot of different areas. So you're going to have to go on to the ODFW's website or Washington's website and read through everything and then decipher your zone, your area that you're going to spend your time in. It's definitely confusing. Another 1900 steelhead went over Bonneville yesterday, which this is really good stuff. Hopefully that'll just continue and a lot, because I get a chance to chase them up on the Deschutes in the middle of August. So I'm being a little greedy there, but not a whole lot to be excited about other than the total number of steelhead for the day. Of course, you can see you have the wild side at 2,000, 1,900, total at 4,200. So that is the biggest day of steelhead migrating over Bonneville Dam. It's just great to see that. Now, we don't have the Willamette on there, but I can tell you that there's not much going over the falls at Oregon City as we speak. A lot of people have been asking, well, where all these fish go that people are catching in the lower Willamette? You got to keep in mind, quite a few of those fish that get caught down there aren't intending to go up the Willamette. Just saying. Well, the Willamette conditions is what it is. Not a lot of water out there. Columbia, same thing. Just tide sets are very vertical. If you're going to be out there this week, like myself, you're going to have to pay attention to those tides. You can go ahead and move through or to lock up on your own. Oh, there you go. So, again, big tides on that incoming. It will turn the river around in most places in that lower section. Just going to have to play those tides on the outgoing. Not much water out there at all. And at Bonneville, they're really not dumping much water at all either. Also, don't forget, though, send Jason an email. That's jason@procure.com. You'll be entered in to win that prize pack, and it is very, very relevant for the next 2.5 months. Doesn't matter if you're on the coast or if you're in the Columbia itself, or for that matter anywhere, chasing salmon around. That prize pack will help you be more successful. All right, let's check in with Peyton Major and find out what this weather's going to do. Hopefully there wasn't too much of a change from yesterday, because the forecast, with the 9s in there, that's okay. It looks like it's going to be a nice week. Yeah, not too bad. Some changes since we talked yesterday, Owin, though. We're going to be into the low 80s today, so that's great. We got some nice sunshine to look forward to. I know yesterday we had kind of an overcast sky for a while, but we're going to start to see high pressure take over. Now, it's not the high pressure that's happening out in the south.
very intense area here. We're just going to get kind of the outer edge of it the next couple of days, and so that means we'll see a couple days in the 90s. Here's our highs the next 3 days or so, and you can see area by area. I mean, Salem will be into the low 90s as well. Seaside still sitting in the 60s. Hood River even approaching near triple digits by Tuesday. So let's talk about what's happening tomorrow, because I think even though we're forecasting sunshine west of the Cascades, there is something interesting that could happen east of the Cascades. So you could definitely see it popping up here, basically with lots of sunshine and lots of energy. These storms can tap into it and then, of course, kind of fluctuate and pop up out of nowhere. So very disorganized. So basically, if you are anywhere in central and eastern Oregon, you just want to make sure you're paying attention. This also goes for Tuesday. So today, tomorrow, into Tuesday, notice how that area is pretty much unchanged, and that's from the Storm Prediction Center just saying, hey, this area, you want to watch for some storms. Also, hopefully, no lightning, but that could be another wildfire risk there. So a little blimp in our system. This is what we were tracking. It was a low yesterday. Now that thing is fully weakened. So we'll see if we get any kind of storms or rain west of the Cascades. Again, it's just daily activity east of the Cascades that we're tracking for now. And so I did keep the slight thunderstorm chance for Thursday just in case models decide to flip back over again. But if by tomorrow it's still looking unimpressive, I'll probably take that off and we'll actually have pretty much no rain in the 7-day for the metro. Again, eastern Oregon, different story with those daily storm chances, Owen.
Yeah, I guess that's really kind of the scary part is with those storms going through the central and east side, if there's going to be those lightning storms, because that can obviously change things dramatically.
Yeah, right now it's actually pretty peaceful so far for fire season, and we got to go knock on wood because it could flip in a
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Peyton. Have a great week, okay?
Thanks.
All right, we've got Al on the line from Molalla. He's got a question about the Columbia. We'll do what we can here to help him out. Al, what's going on for everyone?
Yes, I was wondering what the indicator is for fishing the Columbia River above Bonneville, when to start.
So just for Chinook and silvers you're referring to? That
yeah, for Chinook and silvers, yes.
Well, when
the August 1st beginning.
Sure. So the numbers right now going over Bonneville are obviously very, very low. We're not even counting silvers yet, although, Ryan, we do need to start adding that in for coho, quote unquote. But you're going to want to obviously watch the numbers, right? So when you start seeing Chinook numbers in that 5-digit range, you know, 10,000, 12,000, then you really know that the migration has started to go over Bonneville. It's going to go from very few fish, and then all of a sudden, you're going to see that 5-digit hit. And that's when you start seeing the mass push. They're going to either get the right temperature or the timing just ultimately says to them to move. So once those numbers get up into that 5-digit range, you know, over 10,000, 9,000-ish, is when I would start getting more excited about fishing above Bonneville. And then, of course, the same thing when you're talking about silvers, which is going to happen, you know, 2-3 weeks past when you see that big push of Chinook start to go over. So once you start seeing those numbers change quickly, that's when you're going to want to start heading up there. Either it be the mouth of the Klickitat or any of the other areas that might be open. Again, you got to really keep track of those areas that are and are not open throughout this 2025 season. They've seemed to have made it even more confusing than what it's been in the past. But yeah, that's what I'd be looking for. If I'm planning on spending time up there, I want to make sure there's fish that are migrating, so I got a reason to head that bar up rather than fishing the main stem below it. Make sense?
Yeah, makes sense. I have one other thing. You mentioned the breakaways yesterday.
Yeah.
There's a great breakaway from Good Day Fishing out of Salem, Oregon.
Yeah. That's one of the other ones that I've tested over the years. That's a really good one. It's not too mechanical. It's made out of plastic with that little connection.
Exactly.
And it works really, really well. And you're able to actually change the tension on that particular one he's referring to as well. So, I mean, for sure. And that generated, Al, yesterday several more comments and questions about breakaways overall. Because I had mentioned that I don't actually use breakaways personally. One of the questions was, well, why? I mean, if it is an advantage, why? For myself, Alan, I'm not trying to bore you, but since I got you, the reason why I said that and the reason why I don't actually fish with the breakaway is at least I feel like I have an understanding of how to fight those fish with that 360 on it, and I'd rather just not have anything else on my flasher. But if I was someone that was not experienced with fishing the 360, or maybe if I had people in my boat that aren't experienced with fishing the 360, they are difficult to fight a fish with because you can get a lot of slack in there. if you're not biting the fish correctly, where they can simply shake those hooks. With barbless on the Columbia, it makes it much more difficult. So is it an advantage? Absolutely. With somebody that just is not, too familiar with fighting fish with that. But if you are, for myself, I like taking it off. And some of that has to do with the additional weight that's put on that flasher, because you're trying to maintain a full rotation with whatever bait it is that you're fishing behind it. If it's a stuffer bait or a spinner, any type of spinner, if it's a soft spinner or a wired spinner, you're trying to let that flasher have full rotations, and any more weight that you put behind it, and that could be the snap swivel, that could be the additional stuff that you're putting on the flasher itself, can slow things down. So it's just one of those things that I just take off and just eliminate from the situation. Would I recommend it if you're new at it? Absolutely. And it could be any type that you like. I like the Simon one because I like the titanium. It's just one of those things. You can't hurt it, can't bend it, can't break it. It's an advantage there too. But anyway, Al, thanks for your phone call and your question, sir. We appreciate it.